What's going on, everybody? This is Patrick from Porter's Unboxings, as you know. And I'm going to be doing my updated Undertaker collection. And I don't have every Undertaker DVD there is. So let's just get this started with Tombstone. The History of the Undertaker, 3-disc set. That came out in 05. And you open it up. And you get the stacked discs, which I don't like. So there's him from 05. Ministry of Darkness Taker and the Purple Glove Taker right there from the 90s. And if you look at the insert, you get all of his gimmicks. You get the purple gloves, the biker, Ministry of Darkness, I guess the regular right here, and then biker again, and then just going on. But then you get a good picture of Undertaker and Paul Bearer right there. And then look at all this content for one DVD. This is great. You get the WWE Championship match versus Hulk Hogan at Survivor Series 91. Versus Yokozuna in the casket match at Royal Rumble in 94. Versus Diesel at Wrestlemania 95. So that would be Wrestlemania 11. Versus Mankind at Buried Alive match versus Mankind in Your House in 96. Versus Mankind in Your House 97. In Your House, Revenge of the Taker versus Bret Hart for the WWE title at SummerSlam, which started Shawn Michaels' rivalry with Bret Hart. Attacks Hulk Hogan at a funeral parlor on Superstars in 91. And these are the special features that you get. Builds a casket for Yokozuna, 93. Talks about Diesel in the graveyard, 96. Mankind interrupts Mankind's interview. And then you get a special championship match at One Night Only in 97 as a special feature. So, and then we go to disc 2, Shawn Michaels at In Your House, Ground Zero. The first ever Hell in a Cell match versus Shawn Michaels at Bad Blood. WrestleMania 14 versus Kane. An Inferno match. The infamous Hell in the Cell match versus Mankind at King of the Ring. WWE title match versus The Rock. King of the Ring 99. And then the special features are interviews Shawn Michaels 97. Talks to his parents' tombstones 98. Interviews Kane's Undertaker interviews Kane, burns his parents' tombstone. Undertaker breaks into Paul Bearer's house and mauls him. And then we go to disc 3, First Blood match versus Stone Cold at Fully Loaded versus Triple H at WrestleMania 17. Undisputed Championship match versus Hulk Hogan at Judgment Day 2002. Hell in a Cell match versus Brock Lesnar at No Mercy. Versus Cena at Vengeance. And Buried Alive match versus Mr. McMahon Survivor Series, which is my friend's Michael's favorite match. His YouTube name is Undertaker Fan, so I'll leave the link in the description. Versus Kane at WrestleMania 20, and then the interviews are against Triple H, No One, promo on Hulk Hogan, talks about the Hell in a Cell, Graveyard on Vince, and the championship match versus Kurt Angle to end off this DVD in 03. So, a lot of content on one DVD. So, there's the Tombstone. You get 21 greatest matches. And a lot of extras, interviews, and vignettes. Phenom, American Badass, and Dead Man. So, those are the pictures. There. So, Tombstone. Then we go to a DVD that I got for free from my magazine subscription that I used to have. Special edition WWE Undertaker 15-0. So, you just get pictures here. This came out in 2007. Tabs. Yay. So there's the disc. And then the insert. Let's get that out. I never watched this DVD because I have the streak right here. So versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka versus Jake Roberts versus Great Gargowski. Oh, I'm so stupid. Versus Giant Gonzalez versus King Kong Bundy versus Diesel versus Psycho Sid at WrestleMania 13 versus Kane at 14. A lot of people don't talk about this match versus Big Bossman in a Hell in a Cell versus Triple H versus Ric Flair in an ODQ match. I really like that match. WrestleMania 19 versus Big Show and A-Train. WrestleMania 20 versus Kane. Legend versus Legend Killer, where I really thought Randy Orton would win here, but thank God he didn't. And then WrestleMania 22 versus Mark Henry, and then versus Batista at WrestleMania 23. So there you go, the 15-0. So then we go to the Streak DVD from 2012. I know they came out with another set of the Streak, 21-0, but since I have the end of this the CM Punk match and the Brock Lesnar match, I don't need it. No, I'll just keep that there. So let's get into this. I love the cover of this. Oh wait, I'm sorry. What I meant to say about this insert is that I love the picture of Undertaker right here. And then there's the back of the insert, just like the back of the DVD. So nothing too glamorous about it. So now let's get into the Streak DVD. I like the cover of it. And yes, it did come with a slip cover, but it's in my room somewhere. So I like the feeling of the DVD. This is a 4-disc set. Goes up to WrestleMania 28. So just look at this this flap, I guess. So then you get into disc 1, the purple gloved Taker right there. Disc 2, you get into the Dead Man Inc. Disc 3, you get back into the Dead Man. I think this is WrestleMania 20, and then just him with his tongue. Yeah, with his tongue. Disc 4, you get him versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26, WrestleMania 25. And then that picture right there of him, and then the ending of the DVD, WrestleMania 28, when they go up on the stage. So let's get into this. This is like a short documentary because he didn't really have that many docs yet. So we go to the beginning of the streak. Dark Days, American Badass. Dead Man Returns at WrestleMania 20. Championship level, and this is when he gets like into 2007 through 2009. Streak versus career. So now we're into 2010 versus Michaels. End of the era. And the streak. So it's a good doc for the streak portion. So let's get into these matches. As I said, for this one, Jimmy Fly's Snuka, Jake the Snake, Giant Gonzalez, King Kong Bundy, Diesel, Psycho Sid, Kane, Big Bossman, Triple H, Ric Flair, Big Show and A-Train, Kane, Randy Orton, and now we're going into WrestleMania 22. Versus Mark Henry in a casket match, versus Batista, WrestleMania 23. WrestleMania 24, which lines up with these as probably my favorite, versus Edge for the world title. Then we get into probably one of his best 2 matches, WrestleMania 25, and then WrestleMania 26. Say goodbye to Shawn Michaels till 2018. We're not here to talk about that. WrestleMania 27 versus Triple H. Right there. Then at 28. So then we get that picture. So this is a good DVD if you don't have it. Go out and grab it. I'll pick that up later. So then we get into 2013. I have the 4-disc collection, Dead or Alive. You get his He Buries Them Alive, that came out in 2004, I guess. And then you get the Deadliest Matches that came out in 2010. Here are the discs. And of course my receipt. So that's good artwork. But then for the stupidest DVD there ever is, besides John Morrison. And then we get, okay, so does it say when this was? Yeah, 2003. Right there. Um, 2010. The Deadliest Matches. And then him and Big Show. So the Deadliest Matches are Undertaker versus Undertaker at SummerSlam 94 versus Queen versus Yokozuna versus Jim the Neidhart and versus Jerry Lawler. And then we go over here to Wrestling DVD Network, and there is the insert if you don't have it like I do. That's a nice insert with the rest in peace right there. So on disc 1 you have Undertaker versus the Ultimate Warrior in 91, and a body bag match and a coffin match versus Kamala. Ooh, yes, all right. And a casket match versus Kwama. I'm not sure how you say that. Versus King Mabel. In a casket match, 95. Versus Mankind at King of the Ring. The Boiler Room Brawl versus Mankind. Let's 2 Decades of Destruction, Custom Made Coffin, Grim Reaper, Shadows of Death. Okay, so No Boundaries. Buried Alive match versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Inferno match versus Kane. And then we get into disc 2. And this is for the Deadliest Matches, if I didn't say that already. Versus Big Show. Versus Big Show for the WWE title. The Concrete Crypt match. It's probably one of the worst matches. The Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys, which Undertaker drowned Paul Bearer in cement. Versus Heidenreich at the Royal Rumble in 2005 in a casket match. First ever handicapped casket match versus Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton. Father and son duo at No Mercy. Hell in a Cell match versus Randy Orton, which is probably one of my all-time favorite matches of his. Versus Great Khali, and a Last Man Standing. And this is for disc 3 for the insert. And disc 3 goes Undertaker versus Mr. Kennedy, Last Ride versus Mr. Kennedy, Last Man Standing at Backlash versus Batista for the world title, versus Big Daddy V, versus Edge in the Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. And in a steel cage versus Big Show. So that is that DVD. Hold on as I get this right here. Okay. So, we're done with that. And then we got the coffin set, as I said, for the streak. But since I have the end of the streak right here, as I said, and I don't need the CM Punk since I got WrestleMania 29. So, we go into, finally, his documentary portion of his career. We never thought we would have got this, but we got one for the streak. This is on the WWE Network / Peacock in the US. And then it also includes the Rise of the Dead Man comic book, and this is the back. A 5-part docu-series. And yes, I have the WrestleMania 36 Boneyard match. So, let's get into this. And this cover was exclusive to Walmart. So, oh, and here's the spine. So, let's get into this. I first off, I love the artwork right here. The purple, the lightning. For the first time ever, Mark Calloway, the man behind the Dead Man, comes out of the darkness and sits down with WWE Network for Undertaker: The Last Ride. And this 5-part docu-series, WWE follows the Phenom in his emotional journeys towards having one last great match and putting the final nail in the coffin of his legendary career. So again, we're going to WWE Network. As I do this real quick, you have his comic book. If you haven't seen it yet, which probably all you have because it's an Undertaker documentary that you have to get. I really like this because I think you get behind the scenes of what's in like the urn that controls all his powers, and the story begins in The Undertaker: The Rise of the Dead Man, available now. So you get that, and then Wonderful Wonder Brothers has just 2 discs. So again, we are going over to WWE DVD Network in episode 1 on disc 1. You get The Greatest Fear, The Last Ride, The Character and the Streak, A Loss of Confidence, Locker Room Leader, the day of WrestleMania 33, which was in 2017. The Phenom versus the Big Dog. The Phenom versus the Big Dog. The Redemption. What's Next? Surgery. Michelle. Taker and Vince. Accessing the Future. Back in New Orleans. And the Dream Match for WrestleMania 34. And then the end of an era. Episode 3. Feeling empty. I'm catching the bug again. The Garden. The end of an era. A final dance in Australia. Undertaker versus Triple H. Last time ever, ladies and gentlemen. Last time ever. And then, not even in November, we get the Brothers of Destruction versus D-Generation X. Shawn Michaels comes out of retirement in 2018. And then this is the opening of the DVD on your screens for disc 1 and then for disc 2. Then for disc 2 you get the Battle Within. Dedication to his craft. WrestleMania with nothing to do at WrestleMania 35. Then, Goldberg is next. Another disappointment in Saudi. So, at Super Showdown, they talk about how Goldberg nearly killed The Undertaker. He dropped him on his head, and his daughter almost lost a father. As we go into Father Time is undefeated. And then he returns at Extreme Rules with Roman Reigns. And that is probably one of his better matches as he grew older. I really liked that match. I really want that on DVD. Episode 5, Revelation. Yeah. Prepare for the conclusion. A phenomenal offer as he goes up against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36. Working with the Future, his match towards WrestleMania. The Undertaker or Mark Calloway. A dramatic shift as his, I believe his brother-in-law died a couple days before Mania. So he had to go home and prepare for that. The Boneyard match is probably the most fitting for his final match. I'm not saying the pandemic wasn't good for WWE, but I think it was good for The Undertaker for his last match. Acceptance that it's his last match and an incredible journey for 30 years. And then that is disc 2. And the extras are Tales of the Dead Man, JBL's Memories of the Undertaker, Cryotherapy, Stone Cold's Respect, Make-A-Wish, and Raw 25, Undertaker's favorite opponents, and What an Entrance. And then the Tales of the Dead Man is Eggman exiting the garden, a hat worth fighting for, getting directions, the fight from hell. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The flight from hell. Yokozuna's hair's on fire, Wrestling Court, and Undertaker The Last Ride trailers. So, I'm going to put this in the collection. The Undertaker's Final Farewell. I actually made a rant video on it. Oh yeah, and I also have a card of the Paul Bearer hologram. Delivers his final farewell to the WWE Universe. Yeah. That's just sad that he had to die so soon. So, purple and black. You also had on the card McIntyre and Roman, and then on the back, just saying like goodbye. Like, I don't understand why the legends came out and then they disappeared and never to be seen again. Yeah. So guys, that has been my Undertaker collection, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out.